Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morganon. Bid you all welcome back to Gothic 2. Last episode, what did we do? We did some shady deals for Nagura in here. We mentioned some ambiguous employers who, sound like they might have an opportunity for us if we continue to do less than legal deeds, I guess. Anyway, let's have a chat with this guy. We've heard about him.
Do you need fish? Get your fish here, fresh from the depths of the sea.
Well, that's pretty much where I expect fish to come from. Except maybe from freshwater.
Show me your fish.
He literally just has fish.
Who says things like that?
Can you tell me something about those missing people?
Missing people? This is a harbor, pal. Things like that are bound to happen. The sea is treacherous and bound to claim a life now and then. Captains of large vessels will always sign on new sailors in a large seaport such as Khorinis to complete their cruise. And if they don't find any volunteers, some people may get dragged off against their will, and then they're gone.
That's terrible.
What ship would that have been?
Good question. Not many ships have come into Khorinis lately. That is true.
Are you missing someone?
Me? No.
Do you know of anyone who's gone missing?
No idea. Ask the shipbuilders.
Well, we've already spoken with them, so you really haven't given us any answers, have you? Alright then. So, he sells fish and is a purveyor of no useful information. So I guess we'll never see that dude again in our lives. Somebody else that we've been walking past a great many times is this fellow here.
What are you doing here?
My name is Brahim. I draw maps and sell them. Since you're new here, maybe you could use a map of the city? It's quite affordable, and very useful until you know your way around.
Is it true that some townspeople have simply vanished?
So I've heard, but I'm not sure whether it's really true. Just look around you. Does this rat hole look like the place where you want to spend your golden years? Small wonder that people are getting themselves out of here.
It's not what I heard.
Yeah, especially with these bright, glowy windows for some reason.
Exactly what I said.
Doesn't really blend in.
Show me your maps.
So he sells city maps of Khorinis, which are pretty much useless because they don't really have any landmarks defined on them. You kind of have to guess from the... They're well drawn, let's be honest. He almost has like an aerial view, like a satellite view of the place, but they aren't much use otherwise. He also sells land maps of Khorinis, which we will buy one of those.
Come back again later. I'm sure to have something new for you then.
Not that useful for me, because I know where everything is by now. But just to give you a demonstration of what we see here. So you can clearly tell the city and numerous buildings and stuff, but there aren't really any icons, per se, or any text to tell you what's what. So it's kind of more a matter of figure out what it is when you get there. And at that point, how much use is a map, really? There is a very strange landmark in the north there. Looks very ape-like. I'm sure we'll see that someday, and it'll be quite interesting. Anyway, that map actually does have a function later for us. There's no real need for it, but it is interesting, and something that I don't usually get. So, you might not get one either, and you'll see how something is a little bit different. Anyway... Last episode, we fought with Alric, who is who claimed to be a former drill instructor, and is also a very terrible fighter, but he mentioned that he had to sell his sword for provisions to a merchant that we haven't spoken to in this direction yet. Jorah here, so let's have a word with him.
Innos be with you, stranger. If you're looking for a good selection for the traveler, then you're in the right place. But I'm warning you, if you're planning on helping yourself without paying, I'll call the city guard.
Just a moment. Do I look like a thief?
Bah!
Bah!
You won't be the first one to make off with my things today.
Somebody stole from you.
I can't prove it. The fellow was damn clever. Introduced himself as Ringaru, if that really is his right name. He's been hanging around the marketplace the last few days. And every evening he gets plastered at the beer stand down the street. I bet the bastard is drinking my money. I only looked away for a moment, and my purse was gone.
Well, you should have kept it on your belt and not in your fucking stand here.
I could get your gold back for you.
Oh, and why would you do that?
So you have a couple options for rewards. It's actually kind of annoying because if you ask for gold, he doesn't give you gold. The other option is to ask for advice on how to get into the upper quarter of the city, which now that we're a citizen, that option is just gone because we don't really need it anymore. Then this third option only occurs if you talk to Lord Andre about joining the militia and how to fast track it. So you can ask for clues about the Thieves Guild.
I'm looking for clues to the Thieves Guild.
I might well be able to help you. Listen, if you get my gold back for me from that Rengaroo fellow, I'll tell you what I know.
Sounds simple enough.
Why didn't you call the city guard?
The guards only respond if a thief is caught in the act. And when I noticed my purse was missing, the bastard was already gone.
How much gold was in that purse?
50 gold pieces. That's quite a lot in these crappy times.
Well, not at the rates you
I'll
charge.
see what I can do.
Be careful. If you just knock the bastard down, the city guard will get involved. Lately, things have been getting really tough here. Since the paladins came to town, the guards have been cracking down on brawlers. So think of something.
I shall.
I shall. So, if you were to ask about Alec's sword now, he would demand payment for it, basically. So, we will hold off on that, because it turns out if you do this work for him, even though he shafts you over in many other ways, he actually does give you the sword for free. That's kind of our main goal here. Now, I missed it, but if you talk to Rengaroo before getting this job, he has a slightly different text, but it's kind of irrelevant.
Jorah says you've got his money.
Damn it! I'm out of here!
Wait a minute.
So it's actually kind of hilarious, because he tries to take off running, but you can actually stop him just by engaging him in conversation again. He's courteous enough to actually stop and listen, but we're going to let him go. So I want to show you where he ends up. He's not hard to follow. He does run fast. But funny enough, he runs past the city guard and their barracks on the way to trying to escape justice. But as I said, he doesn't go far, and he's not really all that hard to keep up with. Listen, man, you're just letting these pickpockets run right past you like it's not your job. Ah, you're standing under a fine tree they can hang you with.
Hey, you! Gotcha!
Hey, what do you want from me? Huh?
None of those hays or huns were in your
You stole from
subtitles.
Jorah in broad daylight, and he even saw you do it. So I've come to tell you that you're a lousy thief, and that... And now, you tell me who you are.
I'm nothing but a poor wretch, trying to make ends meet one way or another. Well, what else can I do? I can't find a job in town.
All right, I see. Spare me your whining.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
You had better hand over Jorah's gold now.
Here's the dough, man! But now let me go! I'll never do it again!
I should turn you into the militia.
What else do you want? I've got nothing left. Let me go, man!
Why would I want to do that?
In the city, it's always good to know the right people and to stay on their good side. I could put in a good word for you. I can't and won't say more. The rest is up to you.
You know, what kind of reputation could a miserable wretch like you have?
Get lost and don't show your face around here again.
Oh, you won't regret this. Thanks, man.
Won't I? So it's hilarious. We say, don't show your face around here again, and he actually just goes back to where he was standing before. So, you can't even follow that instruction. Anyway, no matter. We got Jorah's gold, which be careful because he deposits it into your gold pool. You have to make sure you don't spend it by accident. Alright, I got the dough.
What do you know about
Whoops.
the Thieves Guild?
Listen, if you get my gold back for me from that Rengaroo fellow, I'll tell you what I know.
I actually just realized that's the exact same line from before.
About the thief.
Yes, how's it going? Have you caught him? And much more importantly, do you have my gold?
He got away from me.
And what about my gold? Did he get away with it?
Here's the 50 gold pieces he stole from you.
Inos be praised. There is still justice in the city.
What do you know about the Thieves Guild?
Right. Listen up. You haven't heard anything of what I'm about to tell you from me, capiche? There are shady characters who frequent the Dockside Inn. I bet the landlord knows a thing or two. If you're planning to track down the thieves, you should go talk to him. You could act like you're up to something crooked, for example. Maybe he'll fall for it, but be very careful. These people are not to be trifled with.
I've trifled with worse. So that is actually the only useful reward or information he ever gives you. Because if you were to ask for advice on how to get in the upper end of town, he basically just tells you to get a job. And if you ask for gold as a reward...
I want part of the gold as a reward.
But I already gave you a valuable hint. That should suffice as reward for you. If it's gold you want, then hunt down the thieves and collect the bounty from Lord Andre. Now, I must get back to my customers.
So if you were to ask for gold as a reward, he would basically give you those last two lines without the first two. Which is annoying, because he just totally shafts you. But if you ask for Ulrich's sword afterwards...
Ulrich says you got his sword.
Do you mean that ragged fellow who traded his weapon to me for a few torches and chunks of meat?
That's him.
I still have the sword.
How much do you want for it?
Well, for you... so what? Here, take it. After all, you did help me get my gold back.
You have a heart of gold after all, you skinflint. So the sword that Ulrich is apparently so attached to is actually just a standard rusty sword with his name on it, I guess.
Show me your wares.
So be careful you don't sell it, because I have a tendency to do that. His selection of goods, strangely enough, it only includes some cooked meat, some healing herbs, some mushrooms, and actually some equipment. Weapons, this oak skin, I guess could be useful, but typically we try to avoid archers rather than resist their arrows. So nothing he has is really all that useful. And he doesn't sell any of the goods that are actually in his stall, strangely enough. I thought I said I never want to see your face around here again.
So, doing all right?
What else do you want? I didn't steal anything else, honest, man.
I find it funny that Jorah doesn't seem to give a shit that he can still see the thief in eyeshot, even though I said he got away. Also, Baltram seems to have totally forgotten that, he enlisted us to go get his package for him.
Show me your wares.
Because he doesn't ask for it. Anywho. So let's drop off the sword with Alec, because if I don't do it right away, I'm definitely going to sell it by accident. Also, completely flew over my completely flew over my head earlier. Jorah said that Ringaru goes and gets plastered on beer at the stand, as if he was spending the money when the beer is free. So that amuses me. Oh, okay, he's not here. Well, we'll drop it off at the pub then.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
Hey,
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I've got your sword.
Ah, that's much better than fighting with an old stick.
I believe it. So he won't fight you here, but you can go back during his normal operating hours and fight him a few more times. Which we might do, just for some extra gold. Actually, let's do that, because I want to show you something funny. But we're going to cheat a little bit. Don't mind me. Wham bam. Obviously you can rest and do the same thing, but that was a little bit quicker than finding a bed. So, even though he is arguably slightly tougher thanks to his sword, he still fights the same way, so he's not really much of a threat.
I want to fight against you.
Do you have 50 gold pieces?
Oh, I don't.
Nope.
Then go get them. No fighting without a stake.
Alright. Well, I guess I need money to afford a steak. Hopefully a ribeye. Anyway, I will fight him another time. I'm not used to being so without gold. But normally I don't spend this much right off the bat. And normally I do the trick I mentioned earlier, where I spend some hit points to get a wealth of gold from Beliar. But I'm trying to avoid that this time. I want to conserve the hit points. Wouldn't make much of a difference, but it's enough of a difference. Well. What was I thinking? I guess we've got numerous quests, but why don't we deal with the bandits that we've heard so much about? Hakon has been harassed by them. Akil mentioned that there are some in the back of his woods. But there are also some in this direction that we've kind of been avoiding for a little while now, but might as well take them on now. They're not related to the ones that robbed Hakon, but they're worth fighting just for the XP and little freebies in there. This is also where you could get an easy orc weapon to deal with Harrod's quest if you're a little too frightened about going hunting with Bartok. Damn meat bugs. Getting in the way. Yeah, fool. Backs to the wall. A lot of little critters out here, nothing of a substantial threat. Now, who on earth was rowing a boat all the way out here? I mean, maybe there was a great big flood one day and somebody thought, oh, this little valley here is the perfect place to set sail. But the waters receded a bit and they got stuck here. Wonder what was going through the designers' heads when they decided to just put a ruined boat out here. Right, so mole rats are interesting critters because they have a strange AI that won't let them quite get close enough to you to attack. But obviously if you're fighting them in melee, it's kind of shitty because you're not close enough to hit them. They're quite resistant to our little rinky-dink arrows. So unfortunately, as soon as you're close enough to hit them, they'll start laying into you. And fighting two at once can be an ordeal. But no matter, we've got the hit points to spare. I'm gonna pop one of these. If you want, there's a bunch of plants around here. I'm not going to be bothered to collect every little herb that I see. But in here, another rat. So there are two, I think they're named loafers in this one. But here's your orc weapon. So it's an easy one to get. You just got to deal with a few rats on the way here. But if you want to postpone hunting with Bartok, that's an even easier way to get it. But if you follow my tricks, then hunting with Bartok is not at all difficult. Anyway. There are some banditos just past that door in there. They can be tricky to deal with because they both come at you at once. Normally one of them's standing. He's easy to hit with fireballs, but now they seem to be on the opposite side of the fire, which means they are covered. Oh no, there's one right there.
There's another of those scummy beasts.
Uh-oh, scummy beasts. Oh yeah, there's a giant rat that... Oh boy, they're coming. There's a giant rat in the back of the cave that they tend to deal with. Anyway, I think we've dealt with groups of bandits before. Not really the hardest thing to deal with. Even easier if they get stuck on the environment. But had they both come along, I would have shown you that it is more just a matter of patience and maneuvering than any real concern. Because these silly, low-level bandits are a little too foolish to defend themselves properly. But yeah, that idiot gets stuck. Makes our lives a whole lot easier. If you're so fortunate. Oh my goodness. That was a good hit. He really cannot help himself. Oh god. Yeah, something's going horribly awry here. Both his hits happen to be critical, so he got lucky there. But I'm lucky because he's still too stupid to learn how to turn left. But he's also kind of annoying me. I'm gonna get him unstuck so I can actually fight him. With our usual tricks. Prevents him from ever getting himself to bear. Well, unless you fuck it up. Yeah, eat it. You loafer. Go loot this fella out here before he disappears. The hell is he? Oh. You scared me there. Thought I already missed him.
There.
Alright, so we can clean out this cave. Fellow here who somehow has been pinned up merely by arrows. And now remains pinned up, even without the arrows, so clearly he's Jesus. I don't know why they stuck that axe in the wall instead of, you know, actually using it, since it is a much more decent weapon than they had equipped. Somebody's taking pot shots at the boxes. Probably it seems to have needed some more practice, but shan't get that again. And in here is one of the strangest artifacts in this game. Somebody made a shrine to an orc in here and surrounded with spikes for no good reason. But it appears that this might have been a ritual site of sorts. There are a lot of impaled fools. If you're really hurting for the XP or the bug meat, feel free to kill all these meat bugs, but I ain't got time for that. Nothing too thrilling in here. Actually, I think it's just mushrooms in here, so nothing thrilling, period. Alright, well, I don't think these are the bandits that harassed Hakon. We need to press a little further into the woods for that. Let's go by way of Ekil's farm again, since he had some leads. So we're on the road here to Ekil's farm, but if you are interested in exploring, there's a small cave up here, which might be very tempted to look into. This side of the cave, you're quite safe. Nothing but meat bugs. But you can hear some snarling around the corner. That's actually not what we're afraid of. Something altogether much more dangerous. Truly lurking back there. Because these meat bugs might get in the way, I'm gonna wipe these out. Alright, stage is set. Let's do a save, because I'm about to do something truly foolish. If you just sneak and take a peek, you'll see an orc around the corner. And he is actually tougher than the one out in the woods that we dealt with Bartok. And we have no backup for this one. Even though you see him, you cannot report him to Micah and ask for help. Although if you want to, if you're just interested in his loot, you can lure him back to the guards, have them deal with him. But then you miss out on the XP. And I will show you that even as weak and feeble and ill-equipped as we are, orcs can be dealt with. If you just follow my simple 3-step program. Step 1, to the right. Step 2, couple smacks. Step 3, backwards. And if he is about to... If he seems like he's going to land a swing on you, just keep backing up until he does something like that. And then you can back off and start doing side steps. Now, we only do minimum damage to him, regardless of critical hits. So, don't expect this to be a matter of luck or circumstance. It's just going to be a matter of perseverance. There are times when he does hesitate. And those are the points that concern me the most. So until I'm sure that I'm safe doing a strafe, I just keep backpedaling. And there I hesitated slightly, so I just kept going. The most important thing is to not be afraid to play it safe. Since the backpedal pretty much keeps you immune to damage, other than a short window between the recovery and the backstep. Basically, the backstep animation is mostly in vulnerable frames and a very short recovery. So you're pretty safe. As long as you follow my 3-step program. But there's something left in here. Little wolf pal. Doesn't even defend his owner like a good boy would. Now, it is strange. In Gothic 1, there was a species of beast called an orc dog, which were kind of like a short-snouted wolf with a harness and like a muzzle on it. Left, right, left, right. The most common combination. Now you notice this spooky aura and this spooky artifact behind us. That is a teleporter. It looks actually very much like the focus platforms in the colony, because it was just reused as such. This was not in the vanilla game. This was added by Night of the Raven, and if you were to step in that circle, it would spirit you away to another part of the island. We're not going to do that, because that's not where I want to go right now. And I don't recommend you do it right away. Especially if you're a newcomer to this game, because it's going to put you somewhere and you're going to have trouble figuring your way back. Unless you have a map, which you press M to read it, by the way. Game is not explicitly clear about that, but you can actually just equip it through your inventory as well. Either way. But we won't want to go through that yet. Once we learn where it really goes, then we'll play around with it. If you hop up here, there are some items. This deceased fellow with a crappy sword seems to have been a militiaman. It's actually funny to me how that is such a shitty sword, yet is actually quite valuable. Although these are more so. Still can't use those. He also had some rings. A ring of force and a ring of iron skin. Not terrific, but can help us in some small way, so we might as well wear them. If you keep along this ridge, this pretty much keeps you up off of the path. Takes you back to Akil's farm the long way. Well, not the long way, it's an equivalent length. But it's simply the high ground, the, I don't know. Lost my train of thought. Do slightly more damage to big old rats, though, with this nice new ring of ours. So, dispatch them a little bit easier. So, this road goes kind of towards that fork where Akil's farm is. You follow this down here. Apologies for the Discord sounds. There are some field raiders down there. We'll deal with those another time. Just stick to this rock face here. We have a scavenger. Which actually, this is our first scavenger that we've encountered. I just realized that. I forget how long it takes to actually encounter these in this game, seeing as these were one of the first enemies you encountered in the first one. But they're very much like wolves. You just gotta bait that charging nonsense, and then you can punish them for it. Now, I don't know if the scavenger AI works on a scavenger corpse, but I want to give it a shot. So if we get his attention, get him to chase us. I don't think they eat their own kind. Nope, they don't. So be it. So basically, if you lead a scavenger past a corpse, very much like the giant rats, it will stop and eat it. However, scavengers are not cannibals like the giant rats are, so they will not consume their own species. But as I said before, that scavenger AI is void once the scavenger or a like animal takes damage. So once you've landed a hit on them, that doesn't work. Alrighty. So, this bit here can be a little bit rough. Oh, there's a wolf here. Let's deal with him first. You can see the entrance to the cave there. That's actually where the banditos are. That is their hideout. Some of the more reclusive bandits in the area. Although they aren't hiding behind threats such as orc scouts and black goblins and shadow beasts like the ones closer to the city were. If you are using the map to guide yourself, here's your reference. They actually are quite close to the city, but basically, look at those 3 trees to the northeast of the city and pick the middle one. That's kind of where you want to go. You can get to it from the other side, but there are more dangers in that direction. This way is a little bit safer. Anyway, we've got to deal with these. They're further into the cave, so you can actually kind of cheese their AI a little bit. Now, we have this spell here. It says 5 mana required. I swear it took more than that before. But basically, one of these is, thankfully, able to one-shot these idiots. The fire arrow, not so much, but it does more. Oh god, arrows! Okay, this guy's way more dangerous as an archer than he is in melee. So if he starts firing at you and you cannot close the gap, just try and run away. And for the record, I don't believe, I actually need to test it again, but I'm pretty sure that the back pedal does not protect you against missile weapons or spells. So you cannot rely on it to defend yourself from an enemy at range. But once you've closed the gap, usually much easier to deal with in melee. And if you are bold enough to fight 2 of them at once in melee, which I haven't done yet, I really should, just to demonstrate how easy it can be. Try and close the gap on the archer before he really fires any shots. That way you can pull them both in melee instead. Otherwise, just get some more spells and just wipe them out with one-shots. Alrighty, let's see what they got stashed away. Some gold, some fish, and a weird fish. Let's take a look at the weird fish. Seems weird. Looks like it's been sewn up. Well, unsew it. And we got a stinking note. Keep your heads low, guys. Unless you're getting suspicious, don't do anything until you hear from me again. Somebody sending them letters inside a fish. Who could be so crafty? Who could be such a fishy character? Well, we dealt with the bandits who harassed Hakon, so we might as well let him know the good news.
I took care of the bandits.
Really? Anyone could say that. Do you have proof?
Should I go back and cut off their heads?
No, I don't think that will be necessary. I believe you. You have done the merchants in the city a great service. Here is the money you have promised.
Excellent, 100 gold. And as stated before, he will not pay you anything if you got the quest from Herod instead. So that's why we didn't. Anyway, let's try and track down the mysterious origin of this fishy note.
He had better shut up.
Hey, you!
You don't
I think
say.
this piece of paper belongs to you.
What? Let me see.
Sure smells like your signature.
Okay, let's stay calm about this. Listen, I have resold the goods I got from the bandits. But there's no reason to take this straight to the militia, right? I'm sure we can come to an understanding, can't we?
I wonder how exactly, what goods was he getting from the bandits, and how could he sell them?
I've always said.
No idea.
Being a fishmonger who only sells fish, how could he sell other random contraband without somebody being suspicious?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Make me an offer then.
All right, I'll tell you something. I can sell you more than just fish. If you hand me this ridiculous piece of paper and forget about the matter, you and I can become the best of trading partners.
And he works all day too.
Can't rely on that.
Oh, really? What kind of goods would those be?
Well, I could offer you quite special fish. You see, not just plain ones for eating.
You mean like the one that contained your hidden message?
You've got it. I have several of those. Fish.
Who says things like that?
All right, it's a deal. I think we can keep this little matter between ourselves.
Thank you. Just drop in next time you happen to be in the vicinity. I'm bound to have some interesting things for you.
Well, I'm in the vicinity now, so show me
your
interesting
fish.
things. Let's see what he's got here. So even though he says he'll sell you interesting things, he actually just gives them to you. They're in his merchant inventory, but they're free. So just grab them all. He's got 4 different kinds of unusual fish.
And it's going to get even worse.
Got a light fish, just 3 lockpicks inside. A small fish, has a ring
Going to get even
of flame protection, not that useful, but sellable. A heavy fish with 50 gold, and a ball-shaped fish with a lump of ore. So all in all, he's actually the best one of the 3 criminals that we've encountered to let go free. Because in all the other ones, the alternative is actually
too much.
more profitable because you turn them into Lord Andre for the 100 gold bounty instead.
That's not what I heard.
But what you get from this dude is better. And not only that, he actually has some special services for us later once we find out who's really pulling the strings behind all this criminal activity down here.
Terrible.
But that's for another time. After all that running around, I think I could use a drink.
Hey, you, come over here. I've got something for you.
Is it a
There's
beer?
a fellow here who insisted on talking to you. Since you weren't here, he told me to give you a message. He wants to meet you behind Halvor's fish shop. This piece of information is free, but that's an exception, kid. Anything beyond that will cost you.
What did the guy look like?
I could tell you that, but you need to pay for it, my friend.
I need information.
Oh, there it is.
What did the guy look like?
Well, rather tall, dark-skinned and strong, but no uniform. Somehow menacing.
And his face?
His face, when he looked at me, I was glad that it wasn't me he had come for. There was something scary in his eyes. Anyway, I think you should go see him. This is bound to be interesting.
Yeah, the question is, for whom?
After that description, I'm not sure I really want to be part of this interesting event of yours. Have we not asked for this already?
Got anything special for me to do?
I've got something for you, but that should only interest you if you're a man of versatile talents.
What have you got?
Well, Zorus, the potion vendor in the marketplace, currently has a guest, Darren the fire magician.
And?
He had a new chest made specially for him by Thorben the carpenter. They say that this Darren has bought a bunch of valuable stuff with him. But you didn't hear that from me, understand?
I don't even know who you are. So that's just a little tip about some more crime we can get involved in. But that's actually kind of a useless tip for a number of reasons. One, that's one of the harder chests to access without people seeing you. And 2, he's not the only person with valuables in a chest here. I don't think there's anything particularly special about his either, but I don't really remember what's in there. Anyway, we were told to make contact with a tall, dark-skinned fellow behind Halvor's fish shop.
Is it really true?
Halvor does not seem to be aware of this meeting.
Tell me that isn't true.
Well, what I see is an average, slightly darker-skinned fellow.
Hey, you!
Finally, I've been waiting for you, stranger.
Who are you, and what do you want from me?
That isn't important. What is important is what you've done. You have remained loyal even if you weren't aware of it. Some benefactors have become aware of your loyalty, and they are offering you a chance, so use it.
Hey, just tell me why you're here.
I have a gift for you. Everything else is up to you, stranger.
Rusty key received, eh? Okay, we don't have too many keys, so we can find it quite easily. It has been damaged by salty seawater. Why would there be a key damaged by salty seawater? So, as we have seen, you can turn any of these criminals you encounter into the militia. If you turn in any single one of them, Attila doesn't come to see you to give you a gift, he comes to see you to kill you. And he is an outrageously tough opponent. There's almost nothing you can do to try and defend yourself other than fight him head on, and that's really not worth it. Especially since you get 300 XP for receiving the key. I don't think you get that much when he says he's going to kill you. So, better off doing it this way. But if you help two of the criminals and then turn in the third one, they don't recognize what you've done to help at all. They only recognize what you've done against them. So you can't try and play the middle of the field like that.
What's this farce about?
You shouldn't die ignorant at the end of your journey. Consider it a final show of respect to the condemned.
Why do you want to kill me?
Nagur is behind bars because of your interference, an unforgivable mistake, as some see it. You blew the whistle on Halvor. Now he's sitting in jail. That was not part of the plan. You sold Rengaru to the city. He is only a petty thief, but you shouldn't have done that. My employers are not exactly pleased about it. To prevent you from making yet another mistake, they have sent me.
I can give you gold, a lot of gold.
Futile. That's not why I have come. The only price that you will pay is your life, and right now.
Anyway, I wonder what this salt-damaged key can get us into. Let's look around the pier here. Well, there's some suspicious torches. Who the hell's going down there into the water to light those? He wondered. Well, there's a door that is being lapped by salty seawater. Let's put the salty sea damaged key in the salty sea damaged door. I'll be damned. So yeah, that door is obviously locked otherwise, and there's no other way down here. So we seem to be on the trail of something big here. And what we find is actually a shitload of rats. So just start going to town on them. Really all you can do. There's so many that it's kind of meaningless to try and play defensively. Dealt with. Man, it is black as pitch down here. I don't have any torches. I sold them all. Shit. Alright, well I would have used a torch, but I guess we gotta use one of these instead. Alright, now I can see what I'm doing. Finish looting these rats first. Ooh, potions. What a shame. This guy died and he had the potions of life by his side. Ooh, that's a bit morbid. I actually never noticed that before. Well then. Ooh, we have a chest. Okay, right, left, right, left, right. Corrigan silver. We actually haven't even talked to Corrigan yet, but, well, we got his goods. We have a hunting bow. Prosperous hunting bow. Ah, so that's where that ended up. Right under the militia's noses all along. Ooh, a shrine to Beliar down here. Might have some very occult fellows to deal with. We actually don't. Shrines of Beliar just seem to show up everywhere. Oh, somebody got washed down the drain. Quite a few somebodies, in fact. We just head straight down the way here. We can see somebody who seems to be waiting for us.
Hey, what are you doing down here? There's nothing here for you. So, out with it. What are you doing here?
Attila gave me a key. That's why I'm here. So what do you want of me?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Keep your cool.
Wouldn't you like to tell me?
Go see Cassia. You're expected.
I'm expected. Now, I remember way back in vanilla Gothic 2, the first time I came down here, which I did by killing Attila and not by getting the key from him. For some reason, when I didn't follow Jesper through the door here, he turned around and attacked me, and I'm not sure why. I don't think it was because I picked up anything, because there's nothing really around here to pick up.
I see you received our gift. I'm
I
Cassia.
have indeed.
All right, Cassia. So tell me why I'm here.
You caught our attention by winning the trust of some of our friends, and we want to offer you a chance. You can join us.
Tell me about your organization.
People in town are pretty nervous about us, but nobody knows our hideout. The handful of people who even know that the sewers exist believe that they are locked and not accessible to anyone. As long as they don't find us, we can work in peace.
What do you know about the missing people?
Why would that interest you?
I want to find out what happened to them.
When you emerge from the sewers, swim down along the coast to the right for a while. You're bound to find your answers there.
Am I?
What's in it for me if I join you?
You can learn special abilities from us. Abilities that will allow you to live in luxury.
But
Call
I wouldn't
this
have
luxury?
to hide out down here, would I?
No. You only have to stick to our rules. That's all.
What are your rules?
The first rule is, you don't breathe a word about us to anyone, ever. Second, don't get caught. Third, if you draw your weapon down here to attack someone, we'll kill you. And the fourth and last rule is, those who want to join us have to prove themselves.
What happens if I get caught?
Just don't get caught, okay?
Yeah, oh, I never would have thought of that.
How am I supposed to prove myself?
Now will you join us or not?
Good question.
And what if I don't want to join you?
You're missing a one-time chance, but you can go. And don't even think about betraying us. You would bitterly regret that.
So I don't think you can ever refuse, but they basically let you come and go and decide. However, if you were to get down here by turning someone in and killing Attila for the key, you would be given one chance to join them, and if you turned it down, they would kill you. Or attack you.
I'm in.
You've made a wise decision. If you succeed in proving yourself, you may join our ranks. If you would like to learn the thieves' abilities first, feel free. You're going to need them.
The only one that is truly, in my opinion, essential is picking locks, which we've already learned. But picking pockets can be quite lucrative. The only problem is it's another one of those abilities that depends heavily on dexterity and is probably not something we're going to be able to make very good use of.
How am I supposed to prove myself?
That stubborn old alchemist, Constantino, has a beautiful ring, but he doesn't really need it. I want to see it adorn my hand.
Well, how do you get it on your fingers when they're all fused together?
What can I learn from you?
Jesper is the master of stealth. He will show you how to move without making a sound. Ramirez is an exceptionally gifted burglar. No lock can withstand his picks. And I can teach you how to be a pickpocket. I'm also going to help you become more dexterous, for dexterity is the key to your abilities.
Dexterous, you say? Well, if we're planning on becoming a mage, dexterity does not really help us too much.
Can you teach me something?
Sure. I'll show you how to sneak around, free of charge for you.
Ooh, free of charge. What does it cost?
Teach me the art of stealth.
Okay, I guess I spent
is
it.
essential for every thief. Above all, when you're moving around in somebody else's house. Don't just tramp on in like that. Most people sleep very lightly. Only when you sneak around will no one hear you, and you can work unhindered.
I've actually never heard his text, flavor text, or whatever you want to call it, for that. But I think we just spent learning points on that, which I did not mean to do. But whatever, we'll roll with it. We can survive. Sneaking is actually not something that's terribly useful, because there are actually ways to essentially move silently, even though it doesn't sound like it. I learned during the live streams, thanks to friends such as Val, that strafing actually does not, even though you can hear your own footsteps, does not make noise that NPCs can get alerted to, or monsters for that matter. It's only when you move forward. It's a bug of sorts that they never corrected. So sneaking is pretty much superfluous because you can move faster, strafing, and still be silent. But once you trigger the sneaking animation, you're kind of stuck in it. It's basically a toggle. And it's this really slow walk, really slow strafe. I've never seen like the turning animation when you're sneaking. But yeah, so like being stuck in sneak mode is not convenient. Strafing is quicker, easier, and just as silent.
So you're in. Well, I wish you success then, and be careful whatever you do. Oh, and one more thing. I don't care who you are up there, and with whom you work. Here below, you're only one of us. A thief. No more, and no less.
Oh, I'll be a lot more.
Can you teach me something?
I can't teach you anything. You already know everything about picking locks. Now you only need to improve your dexterity.
So he is the only other person who can teach you picking locks. There might actually be somebody in the Night of the Raven side that can teach you, but I don't know because I always have it by now. His cost for teaching you, I believe, is 300 gold, which makes him as expensive as the expensive way of learning it from Thorben. But if you do screw up Thorben's thing, this is your only alternative that I'm aware of. But let's see how their chest can withstand our lockpicking talents. Well, right. Well, right. Shit. Right, left, right. Nice. 50 gold. Great, I only broke 4 lockpicks. Left. Son of a bitch. Left, right. Oh, jeez. Alright, well, that was more valuable at least. Don't you look at me. I actually don't know if he comments if he sees you taking it.
Listen.
Okay.
You can't be serious, can you? You're bagging our gold. You're trying to steal from us.
Don't get all worked up over a couple of
Succeeding,
coins.
In fact.
I mean, this bit of stuff here, is that all of your booty? That's all the Thieves Guild of Khorinis has to offer?
Who says our booty is stored down here?
I couldn't quite believe that either. So where did you hide your treasures?
In a very safe place.
I see.
All right, you can keep the gold, but I'll keep an eye on you, so don't overdo it.
Alright, keep an eye on me then. See what you do about it. Oh, left, right, left. Left, right, left. Okay, arrows, bolts, and gold. Yeah, that's what I thought, fellow. I don't know if they comment on you taking the stuff in here either. I don't think I've ever tried to. There's a chest here. Left, right, right, right. Ooh, fuego balls. Any more? Nah. So you notice the stairwell back there. That leads up above to a door that we cannot open until we are truly initiated and get the key. And around here is another locked door. This one...
I'll never get this open without the right key.
We can only get the key at a later chapter where for some reason we open up an option to ask about that door. I don't know why we can't ask for it sooner. But regardless. I think we've done our time down here. Let's head back up above. Well, we heard so much about Bosper's stolen bow. We might as well turn it into him while we're in the neighborhood. Drop off a few skins with him as well.
There you are again.
Here I am again. Look what else is here again.
I think this bow belongs to you.
My bow? Where did you find it?
In a dark hole full of rats.
I hope you didn't get into trouble.
No, I've done this kind of thing before.
Thank you anyway. I owe you for this.
You sure do, and you don't give me shit.
I've got a few skins for you.
A sheepskin? You didn't go slaughter some farmer's sheep in the pasture, did you?
I wouldn't dream of doing that.
Wolfskin, that's good. Good work. Come see me again when you have more.
Will do. I mean, that's kind of my job.
Show me.
Alright, well, I guess that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We have some silver chalices here to turn in later on. But for now,
Really? How interesting.
let's just pawn off whatever this crap we don't need. Probably never gonna use that. We're definitely never using crossbows. Alright, we're in good shape, monetarily. Don't sell Larry's ring again, please. We don't need this junk. Really don't need those. Or that. Or that anymore. You know what, let's try and get Bosper arrested with that fake note. What is this message? I usually collect these things, but I think I'm going to keep my inventory rather clutter-free this time around. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very kindly for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my stream archive channel, linked in the description below if you're interested. Follow me on Twitter if you care. Otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful night.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
You can't keep anything to